Okay, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name's Tessa Lane. I'm a lecturer here in the College of Science and Engineering, but most importantly, I'm going to be the MC for this welcome event today. So it's so lovely to see so many of you here live, and hello to those of you joining online. So we're joining you here from Kaurna country. So Flinders University acknowledges the traditional lands upon which we operate. Here at Bedford Park, we're in Kaurna country. We actually have a range of different campuses throughout South Australia and the Northern Territory, and we have various activities across all of Australia as well. We've got a little bit to get through today. We've got some very special welcomes from a few of the deans in the College of Science and Engineering. We're going to hear from the Student Admin Services about some enrolment advice. We've got a special guest speaker, one of our alumni, who will talk to you a bit about his experience at Flinders, but also what he's done since graduating. We'll hear about some peer support. I'll also have some questions for you in the audience. Those of you who are tuning in online will also be able to answer. And then to finish off with, we're going to get a little bit of inside information from some of our current students who can help you or give you their insider tips on how to survive, thrive and find your feet at Flinders in your first week of orientation in the first few weeks. So to start with, I'd like to have a very special welcome to Professor Alistair Rendell, and he is our Vice President and Executive Dean of the College of Science and Engineering. So welcome, Alistair.
Okay, so thank you, thank you Tessa. I'm instructed I should stand in the middle here. So as Tessa says, so my name is Alistair Rendell, so I have the pleasure of being the Executive Dean responsible for the College of Science and Engineering. So it's great to meet you. Usually I meet you either because you've done a graduation, hopefully, or because you've done something very bad, then you come and see me. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I would like to also acknowledge that we are meeting on Kaurna country and to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. So the College of Science and Engineering is one of 6 colleges here at Flinders University. Undeniably, of course, we're the best of the colleges. Why are we the best? Well, you come to a college which we have the South Australian Educator of the Year. We have another staff member who won the Prime Minister's Prize for Innovation. We have a staff member who has been South Australian Scientist of the Year. So you will get to meet some very distinguished members of staff in the college. We, as a college, believe in the power of technology to solve real-world problems. So, of science and technology to solve real-world problems. So be that in marine ecosystems or ecology, be that in forensic science, be that in biomedical science or intelligent infrastructure. Our job is to equip you with the knowledge and the skills and the confidence to embrace these challenges and challenges which are unforeseen. We count amongst our alumni Rodney Brooks. Rodney Brooks was responsible for the technology which was behind the Mars rover a few years back. And you will hear from another of our alumni shortly. Anyone know why we're called Flinders University? Hopefully. Yes.
Matthew Flinders.
Matthew Flinders. Who was Matthew Flinders? You don't know? Oh, well, hopefully you learn that. Pardon? He did that amongst other things. So Matthew Flinders lived from 1774 until 1814. So he died at actually a relatively young age. He was just 40 when he died. He did 3 voyages to the Southern Ocean. He charted much of South Australia, so all of Vincent's Gulf and Spencer Gulf and around there. And he indeed circumnavigated Australia. One of the things that he stated is that he was that neither birth nor fortune have favoured me. So he was not born into nobility. He was not endowed with a large amount of money. But he said, my actions shall speak to the world. So he would set about, it was what he was going to do and achieve, which would have an impact on the world. And yes, so he charted much of Australia. The university is named after him. So the university is 50 odd years old. It was 68. I look at John. He doesn't. Nobody knows. It's 50 to 60 years old. The founding vice chancellor of the university was famed for saying that you should experiment and experiment bravely. So what we encourage you to do is to indeed hold true to those words. So don't take that difficult challenge. Embrace all that the university has to offer. Build your connections about who you know, and is hugely important in as your life and your career evolves. And remember, in the famous words, that education is what is left after all that you have learned has been forgotten. So it's the experience and the knowledge of that which will serve you well as you advance in your career. So welcome to Flinders University, and particularly welcome to the College of Science and Engineering. Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you very much, Alistair. I'd now like to welcome Professor John Roddick, who's the Dean of Education.
Thank you, and can I add my welcome to everybody, to the college. I'm John Roddick, I'm Dean of Education, so if anything goes wrong with your courses, then basically it's my responsibility, and I answer to the big man. It's exciting to be part of the beginning of your higher education journey. Your future in many ways actually starts now. From now, for the next 3, 4, 7 years, however long you're at Flinders, you're crafting your career, you're crafting the way you move from here. So many of you will study in the classroom, many of you will study online, and you'll have access to really what we hope is best practice, in many cases accredited professional curriculum. And you'll also have access, as Alistair mentioned, to some of the best minds in science, in computing, in engineering, and they'll help you form your thinking around the discipline that you've chosen. At the bottom of all this is that we're here to help you succeed. Whether your definition of success is getting a piece of paper and walking across a stage, or getting a job, or having fun for the next 3 years, we're here to help you do it. Whether that's at Bedford Park or whether that's at Tonsley. Some of you will also study at Tonsley. In a few minutes' time, Alistair and I are going to have to leave and go to Tonsley, where we'll be welcoming all the students who will be studying primarily at Tonsley. But whether we are studying at Bedford Park or studying at Tonsley, it's a fantastic place to study. One of the things we do particularly well at Flinders is connect you and our academics with industry. You just have to look at the rate at which our graduates get jobs. If you go on to government websites and compare Flinders University with certainly any university in South Australia and beyond, you'll see that our graduates get jobs at a much greater rate. And partly that's as a result of the fact that we facilitate you to do work placement. You can go into industry, you can practice what you learn here in industry and get and be prepared for when you get a job. But actually, being at uni is more than just studying. This is actually a lifestyle, being a student. So I would encourage you to get involved with the student societies, to get involved with some of the some of the other facilities, some of the other societies that exist, and some of them I think are around today, and you'll be able to sort of touch base with them and join the societies. There are academic societies, academic clubs that are oriented around engineering or computing or science. But there's also many others, from hiking right the way through to language societies. So get involved, because being a student is more than just studying, although that is important. I just want to finish by basically saying that at Flinders we celebrate diversity, and really however you come to Flinders, whether you're mature age, whether you're a student, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, whatever, we will find a way to help you if you have trouble. So please come to us. You'll actually get to hear from many of our support services. If you run into trouble, if you have financial problems, we are here to help. So please ask if you have problems. So your life is about to change. As students, things will be different for you. And we are here to help. And so finally, welcome to Flinders.
Thank you very much, John. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Aaron. So Aaron is part of our Student Administrative Services team. He's going to talk to you about one of the most important things for all of you in this first orientation week, which is sorting out your enrolment.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tessa. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Kaurna Country. As Tessa said, my name's Aaron. I'm the coordinator of enrolment and student progress. And basically what that means is I'm the team leader for some of the support services in the College of Science and Engineering. And what we're here to do is basically help you with your studies as you progress through them. So whether that's a case of you're enrolled in some topics in a particular course, you've been through it for a while, you want to change your mind, or maybe you've gone through a semester's worth of study and things haven't gone so well, or you're exceedingly going well, we're people to contact with any questions you may have about progressing further. And one of the ways that we sort of facilitate that is there's an Ask Flinders function here where you can basically lodge your inquiries. It doesn't matter, you don't have to try and send it to the right person, it all gets triaged for you. So there may be a couple of different things that you have inquiries about, and that will be sorted out for you. The team at Flinders Connect will basically put you in touch with the right people so that we can get the answers to you. And as I said before, course advice. So we can do that in a number of different ways. Previously with COVID, a lot of it has been online and over the phone. But now that things are sort of changing a little bit again, we can start to offer an in-person service once again. So from Monday next week, we'll actually have, sorry, I've skipped ahead a little bit. So sorry about that. So we'll be able to offer face-to-face advice in the new college front, and I understand that you'll actually get to see that on tour. It's just outside. It's got a large, I want to call it almost a chimney. It's a red sort of distinctive feature that you'll be able to see from the student hub. So we'll be able to see people in person from there from 11:30 to 1. Every day, and then you can contact us through Flinders Direct, and it will just come through to us at any time. So, sorry, I've skipped ahead a slide, so I'll just ask if we can go back to the study planners. So sorry about that. Fantastic. Okay, so as it says, the best way to access the study planners is just by typing in study planner at Flinders and then searching through to your particular course. You'll see that there's basically a study planner for every course at the university, covering the topics. When there's changes that come on board, the team will be updating those as we go and be talking through those changes with students as well. So you'll be able to find at least the basic study plan. There's the semester 2 start study plans as well as semester 1, so you can see how how all the topics swap around and everything. But that gives you a general guide from there. And if you're passing your courses, you basically just follow the template. If you've had a slight hiccup here and there, we basically just use that template and modify a few things as we go. So yeah, so we'll be the people to be in touch with. And yeah, welcome to campus, and look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. I'll just also mention, for those of you who are here on campus, Aaron is going to actually be joining us for lunch. So if you had any particular questions that you'd like to ask him today, most of these questions will be quite relate to an individual level. Those of you online, there's also, if you've seen the Events Air platform, you'll notice that we have an online booth. So you have that online face chat-to-chat with our College of Science and Engineering, tomorrow from 11 to 1. So you'll be able to, again, have that personalised service through the Events Air app. But moving forward, you've got the option to actually drop in or call the number. Well, thank you very much. And now I'm really excited. We have to introduce you to Shane Ricks. So I know most of you are here on your first day. Shane's actually survived his experience at Flinders, thrived, and is here to tell you a little bit about his experience, but also what he's done after study, that light at the end of the tunnel. So please come, Shane, and I'll just hand you the floor.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Flinders University. These next few years are going to be probably some of the best years of your life. So I started here back in, I believe it was 2010. Saying that out loud now makes me feel old. I actually graduated my honours in 14, so that's actually a little bit incorrect, but oh well. I'll start off with a little bit about what happened after my journey at Flinders, and then we'll come back to the journey at Flinders itself. So after finishing honours, I ended up getting a job in the Department of Thoracic Medicine working on lung research. So we're looking at chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and the effect smoking has on the lungs. After that, I decided science it's a good career, but I liked medicine more, so I ended up getting into medicine. I studied that for 2.5 years, and then my gallbladder effectively tried to kill me from the stress, so that wasn't fun. I did another 6 months and decided probably not for me, and left. And then I ended up getting a job at a place called LasTech here in South Australia, where we design and develop highly advanced biomedical and all sorts of scientific technologies. We mainly work with lasers and things like that, and we have accidentally burnt a hole through the wall once or twice, but we just kind of patch it up with a bit of paper and no one actually knows about it anymore. So one of our projects at the moment would be probably the most one that people are interested in is the COVID detector. So a university has approached us and said, would you like to develop this for us? We've got the technology, we just have no idea how to make it work. So we've got it working, and it's actually working really, really well, so we're hoping things will go from there. So as you can see, oh, and actually, sorry, one more thing happened. My wife is actually Russian, so we were at the Russian club one day, and Jing Li of the Legislative Council was there, and I was talking to her about science and climate change and all sorts of things, and she said, well, you're actually really smart. How would you like to run for candidate in the state election? And I was like, sure, what do I have to do? She said, join the Liberal Party. I said, okay. So I joined the Liberal Party, and next thing you know, I'm candidate for the state election. So there you go. Being a scientist and doing a degree at Flinders does not give you one career option. That is one thing I would love to stress. It can throw you across many different career paths. You can go into politics, in which case you will have a huge advantage, as I've noticed, because no one understands science. They're all lawyers and accountants. They have no idea about science. It's fun to listen to them talk about the battery and wind farms and solar and all that stuff. They have no idea what they're talking about. The best one is listening to some of the Labour politicians. They'll come in and say, oh, well, you go home and you plug your car into your battery and you have a car fully charged. And you say, well, the battery at home is 13.5 kilowatts. Your car battery's 60 kilowatts. Yeah, you're going to get about 25% charge overnight. Not going to work. So having a science degree is a huge advantage. And it's not just in politics, it is in every aspect of your life. Having the basic fundamental understanding of biology, chemistry, and physics. When you see information on the internet that everyone's crazy about and they're all believing it and sharing it, and you can look at it and say, that's wrong. because it doesn't flow with what science says is true. So a little bit about my time at Flinders. So I studied medical science here. If there's anyone studying medical science here, I hope it's not the same pain as I had, where you have a lecture up here and then you have a lecture down in the medical center and then you have another lecture up here and you end up becoming more buff than The Rock. But I did first year chemistry, physics, biology, and then moved into more biochemistry and things like that. And then in the third year, it was mainly medical topics, pathology, physiology, anatomy, things like that. One thing you will know at Flinders is you will get a lot more opportunities here than you will at the other two universities. That's not something that was apparent until I did my honours year, and people were so surprised because I was having beers with the lecturers, and I was going out to staff parties and things with the lecturers, and other universities were like, we don't get to do that. We don't really get to bond with our lecturers. We don't get to bond with our professors. And that's something that's pretty unique here to Flinders, is that the lecturers are great people. If you need help, they will set aside time from their schedule to come and help you. Another thing that I got the opportunity to do here at Flinders was I was interested in getting into medicine when I was studying here, and I let that sort of vision known to a few people, and they were willing to help in any case, in any way they could. So one way that they really helped was one of my dear friends who's very sadly deceased now, Robin Fluke. She was head of the brain bank here in South Australia. I think it's the only brain bank we actually have in South Australia. And she said, come on down, I'll show you how to take a brain out of a recently deceased human body. I know it sounds disgusting, but from a medical perspective, it's incredibly fascinating to actually do it, and the opportunity to do that is nearly impossible to get. Like, I cannot stress to you how difficult it would be for anyone to get that sort of opportunity, and I was lucky enough to get it. And then after that, the pathologists said, oh, how would you like to come and join in with some autopsies? And I said, yeah, fantastic, brilliant. And the medical students over at Adelaide University were shocked because I was getting more exposure to medical applications than they were. And I was just a lowly medical scientist. So being at Flinders gives you huge opportunities, and you've just got to be willing to take them. They will come up. If you talk to your lecturers and say, this is my vision, this is what I want to do, they will help you. And as one of the previous speakers said, Flinders has huge connections to industry. We at LasTech do a lot of projects here with Flinders University. And there's a lot of mobility between, we see a lot of mobility between Flinders graduates coming out of the university and then them moving in between the industries. And like I said before, you're not locked into one industry. You can move into many fields. And having that degree from Flinders is a huge bonus. In closing, I would like to say just one piece of advice. It was going around when I was a student here, could still be going around now. It was P's get degrees. That is a horrible piece of advice. You will hear that. I'm sure you will, because it was going everywhere when I was a student. And the people who believed that coasted through, didn't study, they got P's. And then they got out of university and they went to apply for jobs, and the job said, give me your transcript, please. What was your GPA? We only accept people of a GPA of 5 or above. That's a credit. So unfortunately, the people who followed the advice of P's get degrees struggled to get a job. But of course, once they got a job, then the experience kicks in and they can kind of get around that little transcript issue. But if that's one piece of advice, is don't listen to that if anyone tells you that. Definitely give it your go. Give it all. Try your best. And at the end of the day, you will end up having great opportunities simply by attending this university.
Well, thank you very much, Shane. Can I just keep you here for just 1 second? And just particularly, does anyone in the audience or perhaps online have a question they'd like to ask about the presentation here? Alistair.
Well, I can say a little bit because it's under NDA, but not much. So it's basically a way that is as effective as PCR recent clinical trials has shown more effective, but we'll just say as effective. But instead of having to go through the process of PCR, which is laborious and onerous, and having to shove a stick up your nose, which if anyone has had that here, it's incredibly uncomfortable. It's a saliva-based one. So you lick a strip, put it in a machine, and 30 seconds later you get a result. So we're hoping that that will end up translating well, but so far so good.
Fantastic. Any last questions? No. All right. Well, thank you so much. And actually, I've just got something for you. There we go. Thank you so much for coming in and speaking to everyone today. Okay. So there's been a bit of a common theme here about making these connections with industry and other people. University is not just about studying, there's so much more to it. Orientation is a great time to start to get involved. And there are so many different clubs and programs. But one in particular that we'd like to let you know about is one called Flinders Friends. We actually have a Flinders friend here with us, Ritwik. He's also studying in the College of Science and Engineering. He's going to tell you a little bit about the program.
Hello guys, my name is Ritwik, and as an international student, you may be shy to make new connections in the university, but what helped me overcome that is whenever I met a new person, I would always take their contact details, and it may be like helpful for me or for them, but the thing is, at Flinders Friends, we aim at achieving that, to make new connections for international students and also local students as well. So there are many activities that would be there in the Flinders Friends from week 1 till week 5, and you can come to Flinders Friends program and make new connections, and you may never know, you meet a stranger and you both or all of them can become best friends for life. So you should definitely come to Flinders Friends for making new connections. Yeah, so talking about what we will be doing.
Oh, that's gone ahead to, excuse me. Oops.
Talking about what we'll be doing in Flinders Friends. So we have a 5-week program. So in week 1, we'll be meeting. And there's the time and everything that's information for you. But that would, the week 5 is the amazing thing that you should be coming to. So have a go at it. And see you then.
Thank you very much, Ritwik. And there's still, even if you, some of you may have already enrolled in the, sort of signed up for the program, but there's still spaces available through OWeek, so if you'd like to join. And you'll already know one friendly face, but there's a whole lot of other ones, and they have lots of events. So thank you very much. Fantastic. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of different support programs. This one in particular I'm going to mention in this forum because it's specific to the College of Science and Engineering. It's our STEM Ambassador program. So this is a little bit more focused on academic support and also kind of understanding assignments, understanding study, and also kind of connecting with services. So the STEM Ambassador program, we've got 7 fantastic STEM ambassadors. They're from a range of different disciplines in science, engineering, computer science, mathematics. And basically, with the spread that we've got, there's someone that can help you out with just about any first year level topic that you'll be studying. So this could be something like scientific writing. You might not have ever written a report before. It could be a little bit of extra help with maths, with statistics, with programming. There's someone there for you. Some people, they're based in the Silk building, and those of you who are joining us here on campus, we're going to go for a little bit of a tour and you'll see that Silk building. It's a fantastic study space. There's also, you might even like to use the opportunity to just study among your other peers in that environment. There are also 2 online STEM ambassadors, one who focuses on programming, and the other one, and all things computer science, and the other one, maths and other STEM topics such as chemistry and physics. And they're also there to help with that transition to university life. They may not know all the answers, but they can also help to connect to our other services that we have at Flinders and in the College of Science and Engineering. All of the first year undergraduate students are automatically enrolled into our Flow page, which has updates and also has timetables and access to those online sessions. If you're not a first year, if you're perhaps starting undergraduate, if you're starting a master's program, or you've got another friend who wants to join, I'm able to add you to the Flow page. So you can contact me, tessa.lane@flinders.edu.au. You can contact your topic coordinator and they will put you in touch as well. This program starts in week 2 after you've really started to get those assignments and labs and a few of the lectures. Okay, so no one's gotten out of it this easily yet. So your first pop quiz is today. And this also includes those streaming online. So we have Jean in the audience and Sue who are looking for responses. And there's an extra Subway cookie at lunch for any correct responses. So it's definitely worth it. The first question is, what is flow? And that's not a typo. There's no W on the end. Can anyone answer what is flow? Oh, yes. Flinders Learning Online. So for those of you listening online, we have Flinders Learning Online. So what does that mean? Flinders Learning Online. So hopefully all of you have had a little bit of a look already on Flow. All of your topics, so the topic of the individual unit of study, they all went live yesterday. And this is essentially the platform that we use for your topics for your study. So anything, assignments go through Flow. Your lectures will be recorded and you can access through Flow. Notes, some lab components will go through Flow. There'll be chat forums and it will be a real mechanism. So you should be on Flow, not all day, but every day during Monday to Friday. And it's the way that your lecturers and topic coordinators will communicate things about the topic. So Flow, very good. I just will play this video here, just to give you a little bit more background, because it is very, very important.
Hi, my name is William. Today I'm going to talk to you about Flinders Learning Online, or Flow. We recommend you get familiar with Flow early on as you're going to be using it throughout your studies here at Flinders. Flow is Flinders' online learning platform and provides a range of interactive tools that support your learning. You can access Flow through your student dashboard. Each topic you are enrolled in will have its own topic page in Flow. These pages are usually in Flow 1 week before teaching starts. The appearance and structure of pages in Flow will vary from topic to topic, but they all contain similar tools and information. There is a range of information and resources available in each of your topic pages, including assignment guidelines, lecture recordings, readings, forums, and quizzes. Flow is also used to submit your assignments, view your grades, and get assessment feedback. In addition, Flow also contains non-topic pages to support your studies, such as the Student Learning Centre and library quiz pages. The Flow Help Desk is available online, over the phone, or in person. There is also a link to Flow Help wherever you are in Flow. If you have any specific questions about your topic, you can also contact your topic coordinator.
So there we go. You'll all become very, very familiar with Flow very shortly. And as they mentioned, there's a lot of help available. So particularly, in your first week, O week, if you've got questions about Flow and about how things work, now's the best time to ask to get yourself really set up. The second question I've got is, where can I get a student ID card and do I need one? Hands up, who has their student ID card? Woohoo! So we should surely get someone with an extra Subway cookie. Who would like to answer? Flinders Connect, fantastic. So, Flinders Connect. So to request the card, which you'll then pick up through Flinders Connect, you can order my ID card under the My Systems section of Compass. Do I need it? Do I need a student ID card? I've got some heads nodding in the audience. Why? Any suggestions? Yes. To use the concession card. Yep, absolutely. So Probably from a university perspective, it's quite important to have the card. You might need it if you do have a topic that has exams, to bring it as identification. Also for things like your printing, borrowing books from the library. But more importantly is if you're a full-time student and you have your student ID card, it gives you a range of discounts of all different types of things. Yes? If you request it. So it can also be used as security access in some cases. So that's absolutely, thank you for that. But there's a lot of different discounts that you can get, so keep in mind, particularly as a student, make the most of it. Public transport's one of the main ones, but there's a lot of other different things as well. Entertainment, often tickets, movie tickets, even some travel, some software and hardware give student discounts. And even some shops, for example, a lot of the camping shops, particularly on Rundle Street, will give 10% student discounts to students studying degrees such as biodiversity and conservation or ecology, where you're doing a lot of field work. So definitely, if you haven't done that, make that a priority in O Week. The next question I've got for the audience, is there Wi-Fi on campus? Yes, there is, absolutely. So no more chewing through your own data. Do you know what it's called? It is called, oh, that was a question. So there's a few different networks. One of them I think is something like Flinders setup, there's a guest. The one you want to be on is EDU Roam. And this works here if you're in the campus in town, Tonsley, you can use it. So the username is your fan. Who knows what fan means? Flinders access number, which is actually alphanumeric. So we've got the first, typically, it's the first 4 letters of your surname and then a 4-digit code. And then the password is your university password. So this fan and university password is really important for accessing all of the systems, including Flow. So again, don't feel shy if you forgot your password or get logged out, don't sort of sit back. You can contact support and they'll help you out with things like that. So for example, here, support computing Wi-Fi, and there's one similar if you everyone sometimes forgets passwords and things like that. So make sure that you use your first week orientation and to become very familiar with that. The next question is, how can I get to campus or move between campuses? Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. So there's a bus between Tonsley and Bedford Park. So if you're sort of a bit further than walking distance or cycling distance, a lot of people also cycle, there's a range of different ways you can get to campus. So Adelaide Metro have a range of different buses which will take you to the Flinders campuses, including also the relatively new Flinders railway line. So you can get basically between Flinders railway station and the CBD in about 22 minutes. That's pretty good. You might have noticed, if you've had a little bit of a walk around, that our campus is quite big, especially if you also include Sturt and Tonsley. So as one of the members of the audience suggested, there's a Loop bus that's free. They actually at the moment are getting you to swipe your student card to monitor numbers, but it is free to get you between the campuses. So just say you needed to get between Tonsley and Bedford Park, or you're feeling a little bit sleepy and didn't want to walk between Car Park 9 and the registry, you can use this Loop bus to help you get around. Or your bus drops you at the medical centre, for example. So you can download the BusFinder app, and that will give you real-time information. There's, of course, parking on campus. Be mindful that you do need to pay for it. It's not nearly as expensive as the CBD. And they do fine you, so as I've found out a few times. So just make sure there's different options. So if you're just going to be here once a week, or sort of maybe when it's raining, if you usually cycle, there's options for that. Or there's other options if you want to kind of buy a semester ticket. So have a look on that. Currently, and they've always been threatening to change this, but currently parking at Tonsley is free. There's a little bit of insider information. So some people also like to park down there and then Loop bus up. Jean? Oh, it's going to change soon. Well, we'll see. But anyway, so there's some options there. Got a couple more questions. Do I need a textbook for my topic? Anyone? Does anyone know if they do or know how to find out? Okay. So this really depends on the topic. So some of them are absolutely yes. Some of them have recommended readings. Some of them don't require textbooks, particularly things like computer science where they're updated really regularly. O-Week's a great time to find out about your textbooks, what you might need, and reading lists. And you can have a look at students.flinders.edu my course/textbooks. And often on the flow pages, your topic coordinator will let you know in O-Week if one is required. If one is required, it's good to kind of have a look into that this week or as early as possible. There's different options. So the library typically has a few, but not enough for all of the class, and sometimes they're short loans. There's often online versions or second-hand versions that you can get from previous students that are significantly cheaper than buying them new. So check that out, and that will vary from topic to topic. Okay. I think this is my last question. Everyone's doing very well. I've got a lot of extra chocolate chip, macadamia nut, biscuits going around. The last one. I have questions about one of my topics. Who can I ask? Sorry? So, the professor, yes. That's quite a good answer. There's probably not one that has one particular one. But one thing I'd like to bring up in this orientation is the topic coordinator and what that means. So you've got topics, most of you will be enrolled in 4 topics per semester in a full load. Some of your topics will have large class numbers with quite a range of a teaching team, and some will be small where it'll just be basically one person doing everything within that topic. Your topic coordinator is responsible for the organisation and within the context of your degree that you're studying, there to ensure that everything runs smoothly and you have a good experience. But as also there, you'll have a statement of assessment methods, which is what you will be assessed on in order to meet the learning outcomes of the topic. So they're there to make that all work. They're also responsible for all of the assignments and grades ultimately, even though there are often other people marking and teaching into it. So if you want to know a little bit more about your topic, we've got a very topic-specific question. It's the topic coordinator that you ask. Their best contact is typically their email, and you should expect a response within about 48 hours within business hours. So a polite email to the topic coordinator if you've got questions about that. Few things though, things like when you need to submit assignments, or if you want to ask for an extension, that all goes through Flow. So a lot of it all goes through Flow. Beautiful. That's probably enough from me. Oh, John's got a comment. I might just actually give you the mic, John.
Trapped in my desk. So your topic coordinators are certainly here to work with you on your learning journey. So make sure to consider them as one of the many resources that you have on campus. Coming in mid-year means that there's a lot of students who have got a whole semester of experience, and they're part of your learning community as well. So make sure to draw on the experiences of those people, because they were where you are right now at the start of the year. So they've been through quite a lot, and they can share a lot. When it comes to topic information, many of your peers who you're studying with will be able to give you very good answers about the topic. But remember too, if something doesn't sound like what you remember, or something doesn't sound quite right, your topic coordinator will always help to clarify that. So make sure. Most of the teaching staff, almost all of the teaching staff, are quite approachable, and we really do want to help you on this next journey that you have chosen to take.
I'd just like to add something there. Your topics also have discussion boards, and you can ask a question on the discussion board, and it is likely that one of your peers will answer that. So it might be someone who has that extra semester of experience that answers that question. But the topic coordinators and the people teaching in the topic also keep an eye on that board. So if anything is said there that isn't quite right, or maybe applies to a different topic, that will get highlighted there. So the information there is generally pretty good. And do watch out for announcements from your topic coordinators, because particularly in first year topics, we try and remind you what you need to be doing and how to succeed and proceed well through the topics. So welcome everyone.
Thank you very much, Jean and Sue, who are also topic coordinators for some of the topics. Now, that's probably more than enough from me. So I'm going to invite a few students, peers of yours, to the front. So in order that they're coming down the stairs, we have Chantel, Ellie, Georgina and Billy. So let's get some insider information from some current students. The first question I'll ask all of them, and we start here with Chantel. What are you studying and why did you choose your degree?
I'm studying a Bachelor of Environmental Science. I'm in my 3rd year and I picked it because I grew up on the South Coast and I've always had an affiliation for all things nature, and I just fell in love with the ocean and my surroundings, and I just wanted to learn how to preserve it and basically like how we can move forward as a society who care about climate change and everything like that. So.
Thank you.
My name is Ellie and I'm doing forensic science, and the reason I chose it was because in high school I actually, all of the different concepts and technologies that I really enjoyed learning about just all linked back to forensics, and so I just thought it would be perfect since I enjoy the science and I also thought it was really interesting as well, you know, CSI, I love that show.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgina. Sorry for my voice. I lost it over the weekend, so it's kind of husky. It doesn't usually sound like this at all. So yes, I'm Georgina. I'm also studying environmental science, but I'm in my honours year. Does anyone know what honours is or is enrolled in an honours program? Do you know what it is? Well, for those of you that don't, it's basically a year of research. So very similar to a research project that you probably did in year 11 or year 12. So I'm currently in my 4th year, so I've gone through my undergrad and now I'm doing research and I love it. I chose my course very similar to Chantel. I grew a passion for the environment in year 11 for a range of reasons, mainly to see how we can preserve the environment from us, our human activities on the environment. So that's basically why I chose my degree.
Hello, I'm Billy, and I, like Ellie, am doing forensic science. My major is forensic biology, and I chose to do that because it's kind of what I grew up doing with my mum on a Saturday night. Not forensic science, but like watching it and absorbing the kind of like thing. It's very different to how you see it on TV, but it was still something that I was really interested in doing, so that's why I chose that.
Beautiful. All right, next one. Billy, we'll just leave the mic with you. The next question is, what have you found to be the key differences between university and school life and study?
For me, the biggest difference is the self-directed nature of study at university. So a lot of times you're sort of left to do things on your own and study by yourself and find the information you need on your own rather than just being handed something to sort of memorize. It's very self-directed, and I found that to be the biggest difference.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably say the freedom. So you get more flexibility at uni. So we work for the uni, so we're able to obviously go to uni and study, but also work for the uni. Some of my friends have families, they have sport, other commitments. So you're able to work your classes around your commitments. It's usually not 9 to 3. Some people like to try and pick classes that are between 9 and 3, but often it's before 8, after 3, after 4. So that's the major thing that I think is a key difference.
I think the biggest thing that I noticed is that in high school, if you didn't hand something up, my mum would get like a nice little email or a call, and I would get in so much trouble. But here, you have to be the one to do everything. If you don't hand something up, you're the only person who it affects. And obviously, as everybody's said, if you reach out, everybody is so more than happy to help you. Everyone is like so helpful and like nice. But if you don't reach out, if you're not the one to do anything, then you're not going to get anything done. Like, you need to be the one to help yourself. And I found that is like, it's very empowering, but it's very scary at the same time. You definitely need to get organized. It's one of the big things as well.
It takes time. Yeah.
To get used to it.
Yeah, probably just repeating what they've said, but I feel like it's pretty obvious. But at school, obviously, like you had a bell and everything stuck to that very specific timeline. And obviously, like uni, you still have classes that go for an allotted amount of time. But like if you're in the hub having a good conversation with someone and then you realise it's like 10 o'clock and your lecture's already started, like no one's going to get on your back and be like, go to that class, you're late. So it's just about like time management, and also just like no one cares if you submit an assignment late, that's your bad, and they're not gonna, like if you don't give them notice, then you've missed that opportunity, like that's on you. So it's basically just about like being an adult, because you're treated as an adult now. So that was obviously a switch, because in school everybody makes allowances for you, but it's not really the same anymore.
I think we've got a few two more questions. If you need help, where can you find it?
There's a lot of services available. If you came at the start, there was like a little piece of paper and it had a lot of contact information. But everyone will probably tell you, there's like academic support and there's also like wellbeing support and everything like that. So for academic support, there's Studiosity, and then there's also like a learning lounge, which I used once in first year, which is pretty good because I took a break between high school and uni, so I needed to remember how to write an essay because I forgot how to do that. And they basically just kind of help you about the structure and like how to go through that. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I only learned about it this year, so I was a bit late to the party, but definitely the Learning Lounge. It's above the library, I'm pretty sure, and you just walk in there. I think they have a lunch break, but most of the time they're there, and you can literally just go there and like ask how to reference if you're worried, or ask how to like do an essay or something, like write an essay. Genuinely, yeah, I wish that I knew about it, because referencing in first year is like a nightmare, quite literally. The amount of times that I lost points and I thought that I had done everything correct was, insane.
I would say if it's sort of mental health that you need help with, I would say we have a disability and counselling service at uni. They do bulk billing for counselling, and also Oasis as well. So, and topic reps as well. I don't think that's been mentioned. Are students that volunteer to help the topic coordinator out with the topic. So if you need a particular piece of information, you can actually ask a fellow student who then asks your topic coordinator. So that also helps.
Yeah, and my sort of go-to for if you need help, where you can find it, would actually be FUSA, which is the Flinders University Students Association. So it's governed by a team of student representatives. So I myself am the environment officer. So we are the student body council, and we are there to represent students. And there's a lot of services available at FUSA. There's financial counselling, general counselling, and we can sort of point you to a lot of different services as well. So that's more, not in terms of academic, because the topic coordinators and the academic societies will be there to help, and the STEM Ambassador program for academic support, but all kinds of other support you can find at FUSA, Oasis, and everyone as well. So yeah, and there's clubs and societies you can join through FUSA as well, which is really cool. So.
Oh, this is really bad. BMC. Oh, it's...
Yeah, so just to sort of add to that, the student representative or the student council is made up of like a president, GenSec, and an education officer, but there's also autonomous office bearers such as queer officer, women's officer. We have a social activities officer who does events around campus. I myself, environment officer. We have some general counsellors and a mature age students officer as well. So there's sort of a niche for every kind of support that you could be looking for. Yeah, did I say clubs?
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. But if you want to join a club, you can just like come into FUSA and say, I want to join a club, and they'll direct you to it. Yeah.
How many are there?
I can't tell you off the top of my head how many active clubs there are. So many.
A lot.
Yeah, heaps.
Okay, last question. Any final tips for surviving first year and finding your feet?
Mine would be a piece of advice that was given to me in my first year when I first started studying, and it was your degree and the rest of your career will never be linear. So you might have an idea that you will start in a degree and it'll go to the next step, and it'll be in a straight line. And the more sort of common thing that happens is that there are ups and downs and twists and turns. And yeah, so your degree, your career may not be linear, but lots of other people's aren't either. People change their minds, they switch degrees. So yeah, I think remembering that will kind of get you through to like, you don't have to do this just because you've decided on this. You can change your mind and eventually you'll get where you want to be.
So yeah, I'll just piggyback off of the whole club thing. So I'm vice president of the Environment Club, and it's the best thing I ever did is join a club. You meet so many people in it. Met Billy through it. It was a bit weird. I kind of like approached you, was like, "Do you like the environment?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Join the club." Yeah. So that's basically how we met. So definitely getting through, especially that first year, is join a club. We go on field trips, for example, in the Environment Club. But other clubs, there's like a Harry Potter Quidditch club. There's fencing, there's just, you meet so many different people.
Top games.
Yeah, all sorts.
That has health and sport clubs as well, so.
Yes, so I would say definitely join a club. Even if it's not in your degree, you don't necessarily have to join a club that aligns with your degree. And also try to start networking. I don't think anyone's mentioned that. Networking is something where you basically build connections with professionals, industry. So going to a lot of the networking events that the uni actually offer, usually in the hub in Alire Function Centre, I highly recommend start to do that. And also to make a LinkedIn page. That will definitely help as well.